everybody. Thank you for coming on so promptly. We are going to wait a couple minutes for everybody else to come on before we get started. So don't mind me while I'm kind of getting things set up. How's everybody doing this morning? Or I guess afternoon for some of you on the East Coast.
Enjoying the fine weather.
Yes, we had a little hot spell come through Colorado, but it's cooled off now. So we're all very thankful.
We're still in a heat wave, but that's 73 is the heat wave for us.
It's 80 in the fog here in the coast of Maine.
Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties. For everybody who just joined, welcome and thank you for coming on time. We are going to wait a couple more minutes to let everybody come on before we get started. So I know I say this every time, but since we're all over the country, where is everybody from? I know I see a few familiar faces.
Beautiful Olympic Peninsula of Washington State.
Jonesport, Maine coast.
Kansas City, Missouri.
Littleton, Colorado.
Ypsilanti, Michigan.
All over, like always. And so has everybody on this call already signed up your local solar tour or solar site?
Not yet, still deciding whether to do in person or not.
Seems to be the holding dilemma for a lot of people.
I'm sitting in for Sheila for the Metro Denver Green Homes Tour and the Chafee Tour, so I'm pretty sure we're already signed up.
Oh, nice. Alrighty, we'll give one more minute and then get started as There is still a few more people coming on. And thank you to everybody who's already on and was very prompt. Alrighty, well, we shall get started. So for those of you who I have not met yet, my name is Narelle and I am with the American Solar Energy Society, and I am this year's National Solar Tour Director. And so this year's National Solar Tour will take place in person, virtually, and or hybrid, and will be on October 2nd and 3rd. But as always, you can host a tour or solar site any time of the year and still be featured on the National Solar Tour map, as we do have some that have been starting earlier in the summer. And so for those of you who are new, what is the National Solar Tour? And so the National Solar Tour is the largest grassroots annual solar event in the nation. And it's really an opportunity for local solar enthusiasts to share their solar story with those who are looking to go solar. And this really helps further the integration of solar in neighborhoods and across the country. And then for attendees who do come to your local solar tours and solar sites, this is an opportunity for them to talk to their neighbors and people in their area to find out the best way that those went solar and learn from the lesson learned, the good decisions, the bad, and everything in between. And so here, the National Solar Tour, we are your platform to host your local solar tour or solar site, support during, before, during, and after your event, and then also help promote some of your events as well. And today we will be talking more about individual ways that you guys as local solar tour organizers and solar site organizers can further promote your events to get maximize attendees. And so I keep throwing out these names of solar site and local solar tours. And so a solar site is a solar or sustainable site. And I do want to note that this can be a standalone site or be part of a local solar tour as well. And these sites range from everything from homes, businesses, nonprofits, religious institutions, municipal buildings, schools, community solar gardens, electric vehicles, and more. Pretty much anything that's solar and sustainable can be featured on our National Solar Tour. And then the local solar tour is really a collection of those solar and or sustainable sites. And so the past two monthly calls for both April and May, we did go over in depth how to sign up for your local solar tours and solar sites. And so you do go to nationalsolartour.org/sign up. And there is we also have created how-to guides on signing up your local solar tours and solar sites in any format, whether this be in person, virtual, and hybrid. And those how-to guides can be found at nationalsolartour.org/resources. And I apologize, that link there does not have the .org, but it is nationalsolartour.org/resources. And again, your deadline to sign up is August 15th, but we strongly encourage you to sign up sooner. The longer that your PIN is on the National Solar Tour map, the more that attendees and potential attendees will see that PIN and come to your event. So sign up soon. And then when you are hosting a virtual or hybrid event, before you sign up, this is a reminder that you must have your photo or video tour ready before you can complete the sign up form. And so any questions about signing up a local solar tour or solar site before I continue? Alrighty, again, that is at nationalsolartour.org/sign up. The deadline is August 15th. And if you need some help on how to sign up, we have created those how-to guides that are at nationalsolartour.org/resources. And so promoting your event, the main topic for today. The National Solar Tour, as in general, we will promote your event generally through our National Solar Tour map, press releases, and social media posts. We'll obviously be encouraging everybody across the country to participate in the National Solar Tour and attend it. And we also are accepting special requests to feature your specific local solar tour or solar sites on monthly ACES 8-minute update, which is our new monthly newsletter, our social media, and more. So we are always here to support and help promote your events as well. But there's a bunch of different ways that you as tour organizers can help spread awareness of not only the National Solar Tour in general, but also your specific events. And so some really great areas that you can do it is local media outlets. So there is a lot of newspapers, magazines, and online news in all over the United States. And so make sure to contact them with either a press release or a little advertisement to put into those, or to write a story about your event in those different outlets. And that will, again, help create some press for your local solar tour or solar site. Another big one in today's world is social media. So there's plenty of different social media outlets. I'm sure all of you are familiar with most of them. And so some of them are Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Nextdoor, and LinkedIn. And so you can always create those individual social media posts, whether it be a post like you see here for the RSVP today for the National Solar Tour, and you post that right on your Instagram feed, or you can also create stories on Facebook and Instagram. So that's when people are flipping through their stories, they can learn about your event. And then you can join and also post in groups on social media. I know Facebook has a lot of different groups. So I know here in Boulder, we have local and community groups for all different areas. And then also there's a bunch of solar and sustainable Facebook groups as well. I know I'm in Women in Sustainable here in Colorado. And so there's a bunch of different ones. If you just go to your group page on Facebook and type in solar or sustainable or your local town, you'll be able to find many of those as well. Another thing with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all those social medias is really encouraging your friends and family to share your post as well to help further spread the word. And then there's also on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, there's profile pictures and banners as well. So you can change either your banners or your profile pictures to feature something about your local solar tour or solar site, so that even if you're not talking about it, people see about your event while you're commenting on other posts and such on social media. And excuse me. And another great way to spread awareness about your event locally is posting flyers around town. And so we'll go into how to create some flyers and social medias in a little bit, but coffee shops, grocery stores, bus stops, everywhere, just every pole you see around your neighborhood are great ways to post different flyers that showcase your event as well. And like I mentioned earlier, there is a lot of news outlets that take press releases. And so we do have sample press releases written in our resource section. And so with that, you can fill in your information about your specific event and then share that with local news outlets. And then also there's some general press release options on the web as well. And then for our our seasoned local solar tour and solar site organizers. Does anybody else have any specific ways they found it really good to promote their events and would like to share?
I've had a lot of success trying to tailgate on somebody else's event. So the last few years, I've just been doing my solar tour part as the local farmers market because there's already 1,000 people coming there. So I just set up there and talk about solar power there.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great idea. It's really utilizing community events as well.
We found that the local radio stations are quite happy to have a PSA.
Radio stations, that's a really good idea as well.
It's free. I mean, they have restrictions on length and format and so on, but once you got it, you have a free advertising on the radio.
Everybody still listens to the radio as they drive around. At least I know I do. And so, any other good ways to promote events that I've missed? Alrighty. So we will talk a little bit more about different ways to create graphics and other information. And so here at the American Solar Energy Society, pretty much every graphic that you see from us is created on Canva. And so all of these different groups right here are all free, except for Microsoft Word, you do need a PC for, otherwise you do have to pay for. But Canva is a great option. And for any of you nonprofits out there, they do have free pro accounts for all of us, but they have a really easy drag and drop tool to be able to create beautiful graphics. And they have a ton of already stocked photos that you can use to create the backgrounds and different photos for your flyers, social media posts. They have perfect sizes if you want to make Facebook banners or for Instagram stories compared to just the actual post. So they are a really helpful tool that I highly, highly recommend. And it is, like I said, something we use here at ACES. And so other free ways to create graphics and flyers is Adobe Spark, Pablo by Buffer, Designer, Snappa, and then Microsoft Word and Google Docs. I would suggest using them more for flyers rather than social media graphics, but they're still great tools to help create the content for you to use to spread the word about your local solar tour and solar sites. And again, we have made some fill-in templates on nationalsolartour.org/resources for all these different graphics and flyers. And for anybody that does need a little bit of help, we do have a bunch of people on staff and interns who can help create flyers or graphics for you to use. Just contact me at solartour@aces.org. And real quick, I'm gonna go over to our resources page and just highlight some of the different graphics that we can use. And so for those of you who have not seen this page yet, this is again nationalsolartour.org/resources. We did go into a little more detail of all the different things we have last time, but I just want to highlight them again. It does have all the different toolkits for in-person, virtual, for both local solar tours and solar sites. And then all the way at the bottom, we have our promotional resources. So it's everything from the National Solar Tour sign that we encourage you to use for your solar sites and local solar tour videos. And then a bunch of different of these fill-in flyers, like for check out my solar site, this would be for like an in-person event because you can fill in the dates and times and the location and the different details about your event. And then it also has, for more information, go to nationalsolartour.org. And so there is a bunch of different resources on this page, encouraging people to join your local solar tour if you're still in the recruiting process for our local solar tour hosts, information about the tour, and then you can just put your contact information in. And so these are really simple ways if you're not comfortable with creating different graphics and stuff to encourage people to check out your virtual local solar tours and in-person solar sites and everything in between. And so another good idea as you are creating these graphics is to encourage people, especially for those who are doing in-person or hybrid events, is to encourage them to RSVP to your event specifically on your created web page. If you did go with ACES's created web page, there is an RSVP section for you. And so you can, people can easily RSVP to your tour right there on your webpage. And that's a good way for them to find out more information about your tour there as well. And so, like I said, we did just go over all those resources. And so there is those toolkits that have press releases in them as well. And those press releases are, again, easy, simple, fill in, where you just put in your local information about your tour or solar site. And then there's also some printable sign-in forms, release forms. And then again, those how-to guides on creating photo and video tours, uploading videos to different hosting platforms, those social media graphics, promotional materials, and so much more. So we really do suggest that you check out nationalsolartour.org/resources. And if you think there's anything that has been missed, or if you want a custom design, email me at solartour@aces.org. And that is pretty much all I had. I know this is a little bit shorter for today, but I wanted to leave a lot of time for questions for all of our tour organizers to make sure that you guys do get your questions answered. So any questions about what we went over today or anything in general that I could help you guys with?
We had a question, well, another comment from Cliff on advertising his events. They collaborate with the city of Bloomington, Indiana, and they insert a small flyer in the city water bills, which includes a link to register. So that's a really great idea. You can partner with your local municipalities and see if there's a way to outreach with them that way.
Yeah, local businesses are also a great way to, if you partner with them or just collaborate with them, to spread awareness of your event.
And we had a question from Bob. What home setups work best for those who have hosted several of these tours at their home? How many hours do you guys do it for, etc.? I did let him know that the tours that I have gone on, they usually portion off parts of their homes that they want to showcase. For example, the carport that has solar on it, their basement that features the geothermal system, and then they obviously close off, their bedrooms, their private spaces, because that's not really necessary to showcase on the tour. And we usually have we usually have tours that do like all day events, but you can do it in whatever hours work for you. You just want to make sure you share that information publicly so people aren't showing up outside of your available hours on the tour.
We found that 8 hours, we did, I think it was 8 to 5 or 9 to 4, I think it was 8 to 5, was enough. We were dead tired, but it takes 2 people, one greeting people. We had coffee and cookies and things for people to do it, and then the other person doing in-depth tours, which took about 30 minutes, and taking groups of people through those tours. And that seemed to work very well. We had very successful in person before the COVID hit, but we had 2 years of very successful tours that way. By the way, there's another publicity thing. We have to tread carefully because our local PUD is not all excited about solar electric. But if they have committed that if I would do a short piece that was emphasizing the energy efficiency part, that they would consider putting a piece in their regular subscriber newsletter, which goes to virtually everybody in the county.
That's awesome.
John Burke has commented that he usually offers a free lunch from 12 to 1 p.m. and they're open from 9:30 to 4:30. And folks usually stay for a little bit longer. So definitely give yourself a little window of time at your closing hour to get people moving out of your house. And then Narelle Angela had asked, well, Sheila Townsend wanted me to ask, what and when will ACES be sending the materials and signs? One of their tours will need materials by early September.
So for our materials, we only guarantee them for tours that happen October 2nd and 3rd or later. Because of the August 15th deadline, we send out materials beginning of September. So that tour may not be able to get yard signs and brochures if it is earlier in September, depending on the time. But we do only guarantee them for October 2nd and 3rd, as those are the technical official dates of the National Solar Tour.
And we can try to get some materials to you sooner. Like we'll have downloadable, materials for you, the brochure, a downloadable PDF where you can print some out, and same with the yard sign. It's all kind of online as downloadable material that you can print and set up yourself as well, if those physical materials don't get to you on time. But like Narelle said, that's the purpose of having the August 15th cutoff date, is so that we do have time to get people who have tours earlier in September, time to get those materials.
And one thing I will say is, since you do have the downloadable version of the National Solar Tour yard sign, you can go to local FedEx or I guess Kinko's and Staples, and they do printable yard signs as well. So,
and if you guys have older materials, if you've done tours in the past, you can reuse those corrugated yard signs as well. That's what John Burke in Maine reuses the signage from previous years.
It's a very sustainable way, so we really do appreciate it. Not only does it cut costs for ACES, but it does cut environmental waste as well, and less plastic in the world.
Change the dates. Change the date.
White,
Yeah, just change the date.
Perfectly to cross out old information.
Well, this is Doug. Just wanted to share. We found that the signs sometimes are hard to see, like in the city with cars parked in front and stuff. And so we went to a program of just having people put a yellow balloon out on the front of their house. And that way, when people are driving by, it's really easy to see which house is the one with the tour. So, and yellow balloons are really cheap.
That is a very good point and a very good idea. Another option is to also kind of put your yard signs up on trees, or so it's more higher up, so that cars don't block them as well.
And if you have the budget, maybe do some hanging signs, above to put in a doorway or something. But yeah, balloons are a good idea.
Yeah, I really appreciate that comment. One of the things that we kind of experienced in my first time doing the tour is that people could see the signs, but they were so white, it was a little hard to see the black. And so people would see the signs and drive right past, not really thinking that that's what they were looking for necessarily, that it was a little bit So adding some additional flare like balloons or what have you to that can really help add that additional indicator. That's awesome. That's a good idea.
So what I've been doing for the last 5 years or so now is I have a central location at the farmer's market where I will explain all the ins and outs of solar power, and I'll have my laptop and screen going so I can kind of give, virtual tours. And then I hand out a map with a bunch of addresses. And so people can then just drive by or walk by on the sidewalk. And I pick, not all the addresses, but just the ones that are very visible from the street. And then they can go in and look at it without bothering the homeowner. I found it too much work to try and organize homeowners. So that works well to have one central location for information, all the details. And sometimes I'll have solar contractors hang out with me and then just hand out a map with addresses and they can just drive by and look at them.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. And then do you put any on the addresses or on the homes, do you put any indicator that they are the tour home?
I actually made about a dozen sandwich boards out of wood, and I would drive around and hang those up. But then I figured the addresses I pick, the solar is very obvious. So you don't need a balloon or a sign. You just look at the building and you can see it. So the solar panels are my sign.
Very good point. It is a good telltale for the solar tour. So sorry, Daniel, go ahead.
This is Doug again. I just wanted to share another thing that we found successful is to put marketing material in the local food co-ops. And we've worked like with one co-op, and then the co-op then shares it, they're in partnership with all the other co-ops, at least in our area. We have a lot of them. And so then they post it at their co-op. And so it's a quick way to get information to, an audience, a demographic that's probably going to be very interested in solar.
That's a very good point. Yeah, the more you share your event with local and statewide information to everybody who will take it and share it, the more obviously promotion that you are doing, and then the more attendees that you will have. And so we really encourage our local solar tour and solar site organizers to promote their events locally and regionally as well. And of course, we will, as National Solar Tour, will continue to promote your event through the map and press releases and social media posts as well.
One of the things that I find, this is Henry Harding, I live in Phoenix, and what we do is we combine our solar tour with what is known as the GAIN event, which is Get Arizonans Involved in Neighborhoods. And it's an event where our neighborhood will have a food truck out and things like that, fairly close to where we live. And so I'll put a sign out for that and coordinate it with that event so that we have people coming over to see our house. Our house, the solar is not quite so obvious because it's on the solar is on the back of the house, and we have great big trees in the front of our house, which is an unusual thing in Phoenix, but that goes along with the infrastructure that we have is that we actually get flood irrigation to our yards. And it's just water that comes out of the canal and it comes down to us, and we just spread it out, we distribute it out over the yard. And our solar panels, of course, as I said, are on the back of the house, so they aren't as obvious. But at the same time, we have a more holistic approach because of all the gardening that we do. We have different types of trees that we use for shade. And then I also talk about the effect on, it's really a profound effect on the shading that the solar panels provide for the house. In a study that I did of my house, plus the Veterans Administration parking lot here in Phoenix, was that there was a huge amount of energy use into the solar panels and shading to the roof by that. And in fact, so much energy was going to the solar panels and not to the roof that it was only 3% of the energy from the sun was reaching the roof, which is a huge difference in the amount of BTUs that are coming into the house, which means that we don't have to cool our house nearly as much. And of course, I'm sure y'all know that Phoenix is not as noted for its high heats during the summer as we're providing right now. Record temperatures here in Phoenix right now. But that's the way we work it. And at the same time, because we have large trees in the front of the yard, we show them what is possible to be done when you utilize the resources that we have. We have the flood irrigation that brings the water in and allows the trees to grow. And so we create a tremendous amount of shading for our front and a very cooling effect to the land itself, and even for our neighbors.
That is amazing. I love that you guys use that flood water. We really do encourage not only to showcase your solar, but all the other sustainable and energy efficiency features of your home or business or school on the National Solar Tour for your tours as well. It really does encourage people to not only look at just solar, but how they can make their home more sustainable in every different way. And a lot of people come up with a lot of different creative ideas, and each of your homes are very unique. And so make sure you showcase everything.
Yeah, and another thing about our flood irrigation system, it's a system that's been in place for about, 1,500 years. So long before any of the Europeans ever made it to the United States, to the Americas. So it's a very historical thing, almost to the point of archaeological.
That's amazing. It's going to be very interesting for all your attendees.
Yeah, it does. It works very, very well that way.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions or ideas that they can help share with the other tour organizers?
I would like to make, hi, it's Daniel. We really got success 2 years ago. We partnered up one of the schools accidentally, because what they have done that after there, we actually posted our solar tour. One of the physics teacher actually made it effectively given, if they make a one-pager paper after they visited us, they get a grade. And in this case, they actually upgrade the grading into their classes. So effectively, it's like helping the kids. So we really get like a lot of kids actually come to our house, and they brought their parents with them. So it was really cool, and we get like additional 100 people just, reaching up, having this connection to the local school. So I think it's sometimes, you need to have a good teacher over there who really can actually subscribe to it, but they also enable you to engage with wider audience.
That is a really good idea, and something I never thought of is, I know in school, every point of extra credit or grade is important to students. So it's a great way to get younger individuals to come to the tour. And of course, they bring their parents who could be interested in transition.
Usually they actually did it for the seniors and juniors. So usually, they are, they're finishing the school up anyway, but, they are the next generation. We should be educated. And in this case, they also bringing their parents and so on. And, they really had to come here because the teacher came and, you know, see everything. And everybody has to write something, but they learned from my tour what I said. So they really just came up and just say that, oh, we were here, and they made a photo, so they have to prove it. So they were here. So it was a cool experience. We really never thought about that. It just accidentally came up, and I realized that, hey, I just wanted to share with the group that maybe you can leverage it if you find teachers and things like that in your local community.
That's an amazing idea. I love that.
We've also had schools that rented like a busette and drove around and took the students on tour of the various sites, which was really exciting.
Yeah, they make a field trip out of it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
One thing that we're doing in Ypsilanti here is a little bit on the technical side, but I've made QR tags, so little plaques with a name of the site and a QR tag, and I put it on the building, particularly buildings in our downtown area, particularly ones that have flat roofs where you can't see the solar, and like on our food co-op, and it's right next to the door, and so a person can scan the QR code with their phone, and it puts them to a video, typically a drone video of the solar panels on that building, and then takes them to the website for more information, the Solar Ipsy website, for more information about that installation. So it's kind of a solar tour, you know, all year round.
That is
That's a
amazing.
Great idea.
Really great idea. Yes, QR codes now, especially with COVID happening, and a lot of menus have switched to scanning a code, and people have gotten more comfortable in using it. Now, I feel like whenever I see a QR code, the first thing is to scan it to see exactly what you can learn or what is behind it. So that's a great idea.
And on some residential houses, I've actually installed a little cedar post with the tag, you know, on a post, and so it's very obvious for people walking by. They're curious. They scan it and they get a little dose of solar.
Yeah, I know there was a tour last year, I believe, who, because of everything switching to virtual, they basically created QR codes and put it in front of all of the homes, so that it was still a walking or driving tour, so that people could still kind of get out of their house and go see things, but it kept us socially distanced by, they would scan the QR code and then they would watch a video on their phone of the homeowner or business owner explaining the solar and sustainable features of their home, why they're looking at the solar, if they could see it on the roof and whatnot. So QR codes are a powerful, really good tool, especially in the world of virtual that we are now in. Does anybody else have any questions about anything to do with the National Solar Tour for me or for all of our very experienced tour organizers on the call as well? Alrighty, well, I do want to just reiterate that the deadline to sign up is August 15th, but the sooner you sign up, the more promotional time you will have on our website. I know there's a few of you talking here today that have yet to sign up your local solar tours or solar sites in your areas. So make sure to get on that as soon as possible. And again, you can do that at nationalsolartour.org/sign up. And if you have any questions or any problems, always email solartour@aces.org. And keep in touch with us. We are here to support you throughout your entire event. And so please use us as a resource. We want to make this as easy as possible for you guys to host the best events. And so with that, I'm going to pass it over to Carly to talk about the ACES conference real quick.
Just me here again, Carly Cipolla, Director of Operations for ACES and the Director of our National Solar Conference. Just wanted to make a quick plug here for the Solar 2021 conference. It's our first hybrid conference. It'll be in Boulder, Colorado on the University of Colorado Boulder campus. So if you're looking to do some traveling post-COVID, definitely come and visit us here in Boulder. It's going to be a really fun event. We've got an opening reception featuring Peter Green from NREL and James Rattling Leaf, who's a tribal leader in the area. So we're going to have a really great time at the opening reception. We've got 2 full days of great content and material featuring our Women in Solar Energy Forum and networking event, as well as an emerging professionals networking event. So lots of great stuff happening. And then Friday will also be our membership meeting where we're going to cover some things specific to ACES, our membership, our finances, all that fun stuff to share information with you all as an organization. So a full week full of fun things, including some tours and other special events. So be sure to check out aces.org/conference for more information. And if you're interested in registering and attending, I've got a promo code here for you guys to get an additional 10% off your registration costs. So please feel free to check out the information, register for the event. Definitely, I'm going to urge you guys to come and attend. We've got lots of great content about solar and storage and all of the things you guys are interested in hearing about as being a part of the tour. We'll be talking about it at the conference. So definitely come and join us. The promo code is 2021 partner. And again, that gets you 10% off of your registration. So feel free to contact me if you have any questions. conference@aces.org is my email. And again, just go ahead and check out the website and register by August 2nd. But I will leave it at that. And thank you guys so much for attending the National Solar Tour call this month. It's been really great to chat with you guys here in the chat room and talk to you guys about all the wonderful things you're doing for the tour this year. And thank you, Narelle.
Thank you, guys. Any last minute questions or anything else, feel free to email me at solartour@aces.org. And again, this call has been recorded, so I will upload it to YouTube and send you guys the link so you're able to review it in case you wanted to, if you missed anything that anybody said, or if you came late or anything like that. So thank you all. Our next call will be on July 20th at noon Mountain Time. So again, that's July 20th, noon Mountain Time, same Zoom link. And I will send you guys a reminder email the day before. But thank you so much to everybody for joining this call, and I will see you next month.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.